RobMotive Live on Saturday, I guess. This is kind of an exploratory thing that I'm doing here. Before I get going, though, I guess I should share the live. So let me share the live. Let's see. Which phone do I want? I guess I don't want to do it on this phone. I'll do it on this phone. The perils of live streaming, I guess. So let's see what I've got here. First, you have to get the live to come up on your phone. And let's see what we can get here. View the channel. And so far, it has not come up on the phone. So hopefully it's propagating to the world out there. I don't know. Takes a couple minutes, I guess, for it to get out. But anyway, what I'm doing today, I wanted to see if I could figure out a way, I guess, kind of mechanically, I don't know if that's really the right word, but to fix the lifting bed rail caps on the new Toyota Tacoma. If you're not familiar, when you put a tonneau cover on, it puts downward pressure on the inside edge of that cap, and that's what causes the cap to lift up on the outside of the truck. And it sucks, quite frankly, because you can see it. It's definitely not the way it should be. So we're gonna see about fixing that. First of all, as I mentioned, I need to share the live. So let me get that going. How is your Saturday going, by the way? I see a lot of people get parts in on Saturdays, so that's pretty cool. I'm expecting a few things myself. So maybe something will come in today. Who knows? Maybe it'll come in while we're on the live stream. I don't know. We shall see there. Now, it took all that time to get the live stream to come up on my own phone. So hopefully it's propagated out there in the internet now. We shall see. But I need to share it a couple of places, so bear with me a second. Let me share the live stream. And let's see, and I just turned it off. Let's turn it back on. There we go. Let's share it to another place. We'll share it to Twitter. I don't know if any Twitter people actually ever get on live streams for YouTube, but we'll share it there. And one more place, I want to share it to the Facebook group. If you're not familiar, I have a Facebook group which is growing like mad. Just past 31,000 members in the last day or two, and it's growing really quick. How tall is your ceiling? It is, let's see, about 14 feet, I think it is. Shane got me some KC lights for my retro build. That should be cool. Marty Vision, Vicen. Bed rails are junk. I got one of those new Tacomas and they're so cheaply made. Yeah, and they're held on even more cheaply with glue and one prong. I think 2 little strips of double-sided tape, glue-ish adhesive, not glue. And they're garbage. So when you put a tonneau cover on, that downward force lifts up the outside edge and then it looks like crap. So I have an idea, hopefully, to see about fixing that. Let's see, let me share this over here. Share the link. And there. Now I have shared. Well, it's loading the link to everybody that's interested, I guess. And there's the post. And there it's up. So now I just need to get you guys back on so I can. So I can see comments. Almost got you. Takes a couple seconds, so bear with me if you'd be so kind. I think the comments are back up now. It looks like it. Okay, there we go. Finally, this is what I'm looking at, by the way. So everything looks like it's up now. That's cool. So let's get on with it. First thing though, I got to get me a drink. I have exhausted my sweet tea. We're pushing noon, so it's time for a little of the green nectar, you know. Let's get one of these cold pops out of here. There we go. And let's put some new ones in because I don't like to run out of the dew, right? All right. There we go. We are golden. All right, let's get out in the garage. By the way, destroyed a wasp this morning. Had one fly in and wanted to get, oh, there's another one. Damn these things. Wanted to get familiar with me, so I ended him. I may have to end another one. I do not like wasps, bees, snakes, any of that stuff. So why am I in deep South Texas, right? I don't know. All right, let's get to it. I think I need a tape measure while I'm at it. Got one of those. Something just freaking flew right by my face. Ugh. I don't know. Anyway, let's get you guys in here with me. Let's see. Where am I? Bed rails are junk. Marty, Vice, and I don't know. I debated getting a GMC Canyon over the Taco, and I'm kind of regretting it. Why? Medical. I had new ones placed by dealer under warranty. It helped some, but not great. They do the same thing, and I always get a kick out of that. People take them into the dealer, and the dealer rips off the old one and puts a brand new one on that's the same. So it's not going to fix it. You're going to have the same problem. Let's see. Keep on going says hello, howdy. Chuck McDonough. I have factory tonneau cover leaks when it rains heavy, and any suggestions on how to fix it? Just plug up the holes, man. Caulk. Such a dumb thing to do, but well, not a dumb thing to do. It's something you shouldn't have to do. How's that? Keep on going says, I hope you better. I don't know what that means. Medical says the dealer agreed. They are junk. They are junk. All right, let's hop in the truck. I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm going to show you what we're doing. I love the bed step on these things. Makes it so easy to get in and out of the frickin' truck. Yeah, it's a must-have in my opinion. Anyway, there's a close-up shot for you. Okay, what I'm looking at doing, let me flip you around. Hey, Chad, what's up, buddy? What I'm looking at doing, on the bed rail, there is a gap between the rail, what do I want to call this? The cap, which is up here, and the rail, which is down here. And my thought is, if I can put some sort of a wedge in here that fits as perfectly as I can get it, then when I put weight on this and it tries to push it down, it won't push down because the block, if you will, that I'm going to put in, and I probably put maybe one here about, so long, if there's room behind there to do it, and then another one here, and maybe a third one here on each side. We don't really have problems in the back, although you can see, I mean, look at the movement. You can see it moving, right? It wants to pull in, man. So my idea is to stop it from doing that. Put something under here that contacts the rail, contacts the bed cap, the bed cap, and then this rail under here so that it can't push down. Does that make any sense? That's what I'm going to look to do. But first, I need to know if you can. Are there ridges behind this cap that won't allow you to stick a square block of something up there? I don't know. Is there enough space to stick something down there? And once I get it in, I would paint it black so that you couldn't see it. Plus, I was thinking I needed to use metal or plastic or something that wouldn't be affected by the weather, but then I had an epiphany and I figured out, hey, this is protected by the tonneau cover once it's on, so I will just use wood blocks, easiest to work with, and I can cut them the way that I want. Let's see, why does control on a car fan, sorry if the question is not related to the subject. Why does PWM control on a car fan? I don't know what that means or what that is. Roastum says CK. I don't know what that means either. Anyway, let's see if we can get this rail off, because I have to see what's under it before I'll know if my idea is going to work or not. This takes a Torx bit 30, by the way, to get these screws out. And they're not in there very tight. Take note of that when you put it back on. I have stripped the heads of these before because I try to tighten them more than I should. And that's it. That's all that holds them in. So it's not like it takes a huge force to get these things out. Let me move you guys back a little bit so maybe you can see a little better. Sorry for the quick motion. And I think I'm going to put you on the front facing cam. That way I can see what you guys see. If I can get the camera to stand up. Let's try this. Yeah, we're at an angle, so the camera doesn't want to stand. Let's go back here. I think that's better. That way you can see me too. Hey, let's see. Medical says, I thought of shims too, just haven't tried it. Yeah, brilliant minds, right? I mean, brilliant minds think alike. Okay, let's see if it's gonna work. I don't know. And one more. All right, that takes that out. And they have a little pin in there that holds this thing up, so you have to slide it forward and then pull it out, like so. There, now I can actually see what I'm doing. And you guys can too. You can see the painted cap here, the part that's actually metal as opposed to plastic like the rest of the bed. Now the kicker, and there is not much room under there. Wow, not much room, and there are ribs. All right, well, I'm glad I did this before I actually invested time into doing anything. There are ribs that feel like they're about maybe a half an inch or so apart, and I'm not sure. Let's see. You probably could put something there, but honestly, yeah, there's ribs all the way across there. Wow. Well, that kind of sucks. That kind of ruins my idea, right? The only other thing you could do maybe is put more narrow, like maybe screwdriver like width pieces, I guess. And what I'm talking about, let's see if I had something with me here. Let's use this. I have a piece of garbage in here. Howdy.
What's up, sir?
Oh, just shooting a live stream. Say hi. You want to say hi to the live stream?
What's up?
There you go. This is the mail guy.
You do all this stuff?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You get paper?
Hopefully. Hey, thanks.
I'll give you like $5 for saying hi.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Okay, so let's see. We've got our little piece of stuff, and I want to see, let's see if I pick one right here. Does it even go all the way up? It feels like it does. So what you could do, I guess, and I don't know if it's uniform all the way across, meaning height-wise. In other words, if you figure out the length of what kind of rod you would need and cut out maybe, in this way you could actually do more. It would probably be easier, but you could cut out, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 of them, something like that, and put them all across here. You know, put a little dab of maybe double-sided tape or something on them to hold it up while you reinstall the rail. It probably would work. Let me grab a screwdriver. I think I want to get maybe a little heavier into this. Let's see. JC says, hi. How you doing? Clyde, hi Rob. How are you doing today? I have a Diamondback brand on my truck. Never had a problem with it. Of course, my truck is a 3rd gen. Yeah, this is a 4th gen problem. Not very good. Not very good in my opinion. So let's see. Can you place a shim with the rail as the holder, if that makes sense? I'm not sure if that makes sense. It would sit on the top of the rail. I'm going to call this the rail and the thing on the bed the cap, just so we're talking the same language. This is the rail. So I would have, say this was a metal shim or pin. It would be like this, sitting on top of the rail, and then it would go up and contact underneath the bed cap. And that, in essence, would stop the bed cap from rolling forward because the pressure would be on this pin that I would put in. That is my thinking. I heard of a guy put a push-in rivet from the top plate, and there is no way in hell I would do that. I've had guys talk about that. I am not gonna put anything from the top that you can see down into the bottom part of the truck, the rail or anything else. Not my kind of thing. To me, yeah, that works, but that's kind of a backwards way to do things. I mean, why not just grab a nail gun and shoot some nails down there? I mean, you know, yeah, it'll work, but is that really something you want to do with your truck? You want to be able to see that? I would never do that. Let's see. Medical says same language. Correct. Good, good. Always good when you're speaking the same language, right? Rostam. Heard of a guy, read that. Rostam says right. Rostam says hillbilly. You said it, not me. It was right up here, though. So let me grab a screwdriver. And I want to see if the distance is the same so that if I cut pins, they would be the same all the way across here, and I'd only have to have one length because that would make my life a hell of a lot easier, right? So let me do that. Let me grab a screwdriver to stick up in here to measure the distance. I've got a tape measure here. I need something to write on. Give me something to write on. Anybody know where that's to write with? Give me something to write with. Give me something to write on. Who said that? Does anybody know who said that? Huh? Give me something to write on. It's my interpretation. Anyway, I'll be back in just a minute. Let me grab my stuff and we'll carry on with this. I have hope. I think this is going to work. I really do. Ugh. Got to get some air in here too. It's getting hot. Okay. All right. Let's see what we got. Take the little screwdriver first, I guess. Let's see. I'm going to start, and you kind of have to feel where the gap is. So there, and I'll measure this, but actually, you know what? You kind of need the rail. Maybe there a little bit too. It's going to be a little bit of a guess. What I'll have to do is once the rail is back up and I have my measurement, add the distance between the top of the rail and the bottom lip of the bed cap, because it doesn't fit flush right up against the bed cap. Is this a new truck? What trim? It is. It's a 2025 TRD Sport. All right, let's see. So the first one, I think, would be right about over here, which I know you can't see. It's about that far. So you'd need a pin about that long. Not very exact measurement, I know. But what I'm trying to do at the moment is just see if this is uniform all the way down. So I don't need it to be perfect. I just need to see if I need more pens, or, yeah, one measurement will work. Because I really don't want to have to cut umpteen different lengths, you know? And it appears that one length would work. So let's test that again. I'm going to grab maybe a longer screwdriver, something easier to wield. And it's going to have to start in a little bit from the edge. So again, right about that long from the top of my thumb. Can you see that? From the top of my thumb here to the top of the screwdriver is the length you're going to need. So let's check. That looks good. That looks good. That looks good. That looks good. Yeah, baby. Oh yeah. That is, it is uniform. So that's the first thing. We have a uniform measurement, I guess. So next up, what I want to do, and that means I probably would be able to measure the distance at the back here for that gap, if that makes any sense. I don't know if that makes any sense. Let me grab, I have a pen. I'm going to make a mark, and then we're going to make a measurement. So I'm most concerned, obviously, about up here in the front, because that's where we have the big problem. So I'm going to mark it there. All right, and there's our mark. I don't know if you guys can see that, but how much is it? That's what I want to know. And roughly, I say roughly, it's really not that rough. This would be the mark. Looks like it would be 1 inch and 5/8. So I think if I went 1 inch and 3/4, yeah, it's almost a, let's see, let me make sure I give you the right number. 1 inch and 5/8 plus another 1/8 for the gap, which is probably a hair too much. I would be at 1 inch and 3/4. That's my guess. So 1 inch and 5/8. 1 inch and 5/8. Let me write this down. 1 inch 5/8 to 1 1 3/4. Sorry. 1 3/4. Let me make sure I got that right. Measure 15 times before you decide what you're doing, right? Yeah. And I'm not sure if the gap will measure it from the bottom of the rail here. Where am I? Here, to the bottom of the cap to the top of the rail is 1/8 of an inch. I don't think it's quite that much. I think it's probably a 16th shy. I'm horrible when it comes to measurements, I'll tell you right now, except I'm confident in the first two. But let's check it now that I have it marked, just to be sure. Yep. 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 One more over here. Yep. So my measurement is correct. It is uniform all the way down the line. So I would probably put, now, there's another question. The gap in between the ridges underneath, because I would want a piece of metal, ideally, that would fit right in that gap and be uniform. It feels like it's about a 1/2 inch, because what I don't want to happen is to put my pen up there and then have it fall. You know, it wouldn't fall all the way down, but it wouldn't sit straight up and down. And I really want to try to sit as straight up and down as I possibly can. So let's take a look. The end of a screwdriver, about yay wide, is, well, and I can't fit the screwdriver in there without pulling on the, let's try yeah, that's not gonna work either. What I'm trying to do is figure out how wide the gaps are in the ridges. They're like baffles, I don't know, under here, that are there's a lot of them. I mean, they put a ton of them under here. So I wanna try to get in between those. Let's try the end of my ratchet here, my extension. Oh yeah, baby. Except I can't push it up. Looks like they're about this far, this wide, the distance between the gaps. I want to try something else. And this is I guess the critical part. I have the measurement, 1 5/8, but I don't have the gapping. So let me grab something. I want to grab a couple things that are yay wide, 1/2 inch or a little less, and see if they slide up in there uniformly. All right, I think I may have gotten lucky. I've got a couple little wrenches, and I'm looking at this width on each one, so let's find out. There's my gap. And that's tight on this big one. I probably could force it up in there. It feels like I could. I'm sure those plastic baffles probably spread. So this, I think, would fit, but it would be tight. Now, let's try this. This I have no doubt. Yeah. A lot of play. Let me turn you guys and see what the heck I'm doing. Right here, I can feel one of those baffles or areas. And if I put this in, I get this much play. Now, if I take this one and slip it up in there, I don't get any play, but I can push it all the way up in there to the top and it stays, which means to me it's probably spreading that baffle underneath there a little bit. I don't know if that matters, really, because I want it to stay, and that would make it even easier. Yeah, that would make it even easier when I put the rails back on. But you get the idea. And then under here would sit the rail, of course, and that would stop this from pushing down because it would be force against the rail. That's my plan. That's what I think I'm gonna do. I don't know of any better way to do this other than, you know, that dude's solution to drilling down through the top into the metal. I mean, that to me is just absurd, but hey, I guess if it works, I don't know. Now, one other thing I want to check, do those baffles go all the way back? So right there, I'm in between the two spaces. Now, if I go to the back, can I slide out? No, I can't. I can't slide on down. So that means to me that those baffles are up against the metal behind the rails, and I can't physically slide. Let's try another one. Yeah, I can't physically slide down, so I don't really have to worry about my pins falling out. The gaps are not wide enough or whatever to be able to stay in there. What about ABS plastic shims? Hey, anything, it doesn't matter. Anything that would stop those rails caps from pushing down due to the force of the tonneau pushing them down or trying to would work. I don't know what I'm going to use yet. Once I get to Lowe's, I'm going to take whatever it is I decide to go with width-wise, and I'll pick some material. It'll either be wood, metal, or plastic. It doesn't really matter, I don't think. So it's too bad this doesn't fit perfectly. Man, that would be nice. But it feels like it's off. Maybe man, it might even be off. Can't be off that much. This is not that much narrower than this thing, right? Let's try another one. Now that one, that fits right in there. Look at that. And there's a little bit of gap, maybe 1/16 of an inch, it feels like. Let's try another one. Maybe these baffle things aren't uniform. Yeah, this is it. This is the size right here. This is what I'm going to use. Try this one more time down here. Oh yeah, I must have hit one that was just a little off or something, because this is like almost perfect. And I want a little bit of play. I mean, I don't want them to fall, you know, but I want a little play when I put these things in there. And then the pressure from the bottom against the rail should hold them well. So what's the width? And I'll take this to the store with me, but for you guys, the width of this thing appears to be, let's see, almost just a smidge less than 1/2 inch. So the width of this piece is just less than 1/16 of an inch shy of 1/2 inch. Let me check it one more time. And I think if you went 1/2 inch, actually, you'd probably be fine, because it feels to me like in all these other ones I just tried. Let's find one. Oh, that's a bigger one even there. The other ones are more uniform. Yeah, I think if you went 1/2 inch, you would be okay. particularly if you went with something you could shave off a little bit if you had to, like plastic or even wood. Let's try another one. Yeah, I think if you went 1/2 inch, you'd be okay. Yeah, definitely. So there's the number. You need a piece that is pieces that are at least, well, we don't know yet, somewhere around 1 5/8 to 1 3/4 inches. And then the width needs to be 1/2 inch. I'm excited. This is gonna work. This is gonna work. I know it is. So the last thing I want to do, I want to put this piece back on, and then I want to see what the distance between the top of the rail and the bottom of the cap is to come up with my final length for these pins. That's my idea. So let's see if we can't get this craziness back on here. All right, there's one. Now, can't see the holes, of course. Still can't see the holes. There we go. And am I going to be able to put this in with my hands? Probably not. Yeah, we're going to need the end of the tool. All right, we go ahead and get the rest of these in, and then we'll measure, I guess, for our final measurement as to what the length should be. Isn't this fun? This is fun. I enjoy this. I don't know if you guys enjoy it, but I do. I enjoy doing this kind of stuff. It's a challenge, man. It's making the truck better than what Toyota did. And I certainly don't have anywhere near their budget, right? So it's a win for me, the way I see it, anyway. All right, we're almost there. One more, and we'll have this back on, then we'll get that last measurement. Let's tighten these puppies down, then I'll finish them off by hand. Okay. And I am, of course, tightening them down because I want the right measurement, right? So I don't want any loosey-goosiness. Again, these are not very tight, so you don't have to go crazy. There's the damn wasp is back again. Okay, now, if you can see, this is what I'm talking about. You see the gap? You have to account for that in your pen, right? Because if you don't, you're going to push up on the rail itself, and you don't want to do that. You're going to push it the other way, and it is more substantial than I thought. So let's take a look at the other side that I haven't moved. And this does move, by the way, so it will come down some. And I think there's a little bit of adjustability in the rail itself. So I probably can account for a little bit of that in my measurement. I don't know. But let's see if I can get it quick and dirty. as to how far that is. I don't know. And it's not uniform all the way down, so that's kind of a drag. All right, here we go. That looks like about, get this tape measure right. Well, maybe, might actually be an eighth. Let's check it a little further. Yeah, down there it's definitely an eighth. Down here it's about a 16th shy of an eighth. Of course, these damn tape measures with their moving pens on the ends, that kind of sucks. Makes it pretty hard to get a measurement this way. Yeah, I think if you went, yeah, it's even worse when you get down to the end, which again, I think the cap will come up some. But I think if you went about another maybe 1/8 of an inch, let's see, 1, 2, 3, is that even right? Yeah, about another 1/8 of an inch. I think you might accommodate that space. And again, the rail, I think, will move a little bit too. I think I need to check that. So, I'm gonna loosen the rail. I want to see if it'll move up and down any. This is important, of course, because if it does, you have some play. It does. A little. So the rail itself will move a little bit, so I think, let's check that one more time. Yeah, I think if you go about an 1/8 of an inch, if you add an 1/8 of an inch, so it would be 1 6/8 or 1 what is that, 3/4. It'd be 1 3/4 length on your pen. I think you'd be just about right. And obviously, cut the first one and test it, and then you can adjust. But I think about 1 3/4 would be the length I would need to go. So we're talking about a pen that is 1/2 inch wide and 1 3/4 inches long, and I would probably do, oh, I don't know, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 8 of them, 8 to 10 of them. I would think it'd be plenty, and then you should be golden. So that's my plan. That's what I'm going to do before I put the tonneau on here. I'm going to go ahead and get some kind of material. I don't know what it's going to be. Probably plastic would be the best because that would be the easiest to work with. Otherwise, I'll probably go with aluminum because that's the next easiest to work with, I think. Eric says, hey, Rob, sorry I'm late to the stream. I just got off work. Well, I'm glad you made it, Eric. Thanks for joining up. But anyway, I think either plastic, if I can find plastic sticks, if you will. I don't know that anything like that is available, but if I can find it, I surely would do it. Otherwise, it's going to be aluminum for me. Let's get these tools off of here. So what do you guys think? What do you think of the solution? Is it a solution or is it stupidity? What do you think? Will it work, more importantly? All right, let's get all my junk out of my truck. Not my trunk, my truck. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use pens. I'm gonna put 8 to 10 of them, depending on I don't know how it goes when I'm doing it. And the idea is to stop the bed rails, the bed caps, let's get the terminology right, to stop the bed caps from pushing in due to the force of the tonneau cover on the edges. That's my plan. So what do you guys think? You think it'll work? You won't know until you try it. Hope it works. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's always the way, right? I go out, spend the money, cut the stupid things down. Of course, I cut the first one and try it. And then see if it actually works out. I don't know. I hope so. Because that will alleviate the problem as far as I'm concerned. And who knows, maybe there's a market for it. I could sell pens for stopping this from happening. I mean, there's what, a couple 100,000 or more new Tacomas out there that this is a problem with. I just created a whole new business. No, I don't know. I don't know if it'll work or not, but that's the plan. Anyway, I just wanted to bring you guys with me on this crazy little journey. I'm interested to know for when I buy my 4th gen. Yeah, I will, of course, you know, I'm going to make a video about it, right? So I think now I'm going to head off to the hardware and see if I can find either some plastic, my first choice, or aluminum rod, 1/2 inch wide. And then I'd buy, I don't know, 3 feet of it or something. I always like to have a little extra round just for kicks. Whether it's hollow or solid, I don't think it matters. So you could use tube or you could use solid pieces. I think that would be fine. Shouldn't make any difference at all. So I'm going to get what I can, right? But it shouldn't be hard. Lowe's usually keeps, and so does Home Depot, stock material, that kind of stuff. So I think it'll be okay. Get the rest of my junk put away here. Put that away. And let's shut this down. Get rid of my wasp device there, and that's it. By the way, if you don't have one of these, you got to have one of these. These are awesome. Kick it back up. You're done with it. Lets you get in and out of the truck so easily. I love these bed steps. They're just freaking awesome. Anyway, that's it. That's the end. Again, I just wanted to bring you guys along with me for the ride, get an opinion, maybe, or show you what I'm looking at doing to hopefully stop that stupid bed cap from falling down or from pulling in. That's my solution. I don't know of a better way to do it. Leave a comment down below after or whatever. Let's see, when can we see the results? It'll be soon, probably within the next, well, honestly, couple weeks. However, if you join the Facebook group, 4th generation Toyota Tacoma owners group, and right now it says by tacodriven, I have decided, oh, here's a big announcement for you. I have decided to go back to the RobMotive name. I had changed the name of the channel to tacodriven, and then I thought, you know, I've been doing this for so long, and RobMotive is my brand, right? I mean, I have it everywhere. It's out here in the garage. People have bought me signs. I've got grills that light up that have the RobMotive name in it. I've got RobMotive stickers all over the place. There's RobMotive stickers here and there and everywhere. So why would I change the brand? I need to leave the brand alone. That's what it is. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's see. When KP, do you know if there is any chassis flex when off-roading? I don't know. I'm sure there's probably some. I don't know any truck that doesn't flex some. Is it excessive? I haven't heard that it is, so I would say nothing that you need to worry about. But I'm not the authority on that, obviously. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Appreciate you guys that were here, and gals, if any. And we'll see you next time on the web. Have a great day. Bye.